man, this movie. It's just too much.
Yeah, the writers are on the set. These are twisted minds to come up with stuff like what we just saw. Do you fear
what's
them?
their deal?
Yeah.
The more twisted, the more I like it.
Killing in this movie than I think any movie I've ever seen.
For a movie to be banned, it has to be really shocking in some way. But banning a movie just makes us more curious. What could be so extreme that it has to be hidden from human eyes? Today, we'll rank movies banned for being too disturbing, starting from the least to the most disturbing. I'm Visual Venture.
What's the most disturbing movie you've ever seen,
The
Chad?
Last Temptation of Christ.
The Last Temptation
of Christ caused chaos when it came out. First,
I don't think I've ever heard
theaters
that one.
refused to show it. Then, video stores wouldn't rent it out. Finally, when a few brave movie theaters decided to screen the movie, they were attacked by angry mobs. The backlash was intense, but people weren't surprised because this movie was doomed as soon as the project started. And the first red flag was the man directing the movie, Martin Scorsese. In the 1980s,
Martin
Martin
Scorsese
was already a Hollywood legend. He
That sounds disturbing. Isn't he pronouncing that weird?
directed hit movies that made a lot of money at the box
Shutter
office.
Island.
Despite all his
He directed
success,
Wolf on Wall
Scorsese
Street?
felt like something was missing in his career.
Well, over the years, I was always interested in making a film like
Scorsese.
Jesus. Either from the character of Jesus, either seen through the Gospels or through other eyes, in a sense.
But Scorsese didn't have a resume for a religious film. His previous movies were mostly about violence and crime. One of his movies, Taxi Driver, was so
I like
disturbing
Taxi
that it
Driver.
inspired someone to become an assassin. Scorsese
Damn, I didn't know
was the
that.
last person anyone expected to direct a religious film, but against all odds, he did it. In 1988, he released The Last Temptation of Christ. But when the film premiered, audiences were shocked by what they saw on screen. The movie opens with a disclaimer. This film is not based on the Gospels, but upon the fictional exploration of the eternal spiritual conflict. But that warning wasn't nearly enough to prepare people for what they were about to see. At first, the movie follows the normal Bible story. Jesus is baptized, starts preaching.
Oh my god, is that the Green Goblin?
Gathers
William Dafoe?
disciples and performs miracles.
That's a young Dafoe.
They'll have the real value, the value of love, to love, share, and comfort. They'll have the courage to do the good.
Jesus knows that it's his destiny to die on the cross. Then the story takes a bizarre twist. Someone suggests to Jesus
I
that
didn't know Jesus was a Green Goblin.
he doesn't have to sacrifice himself on the cross. Instead, he could have a normal life, marry, have kids, and live happily ever after.
I admit it. I'd like it, but I'll never have it.
Listen, if you really want God, don't spend your time in the desert. He's not there. He's right here. Read your scriptures. God doesn't want you to fast and pray. He wants you to make children.
At first, Jesus resists the idea, but as time goes on, the temptation becomes harder to ignore.
When I see a woman, I blush and look away. I want her, but I don't take her for God.
Eventually, the devil tricks Jesus into abandoning his divine mission. In this alternate version of the story,
twisted
Jesus
it like
steps
that.
down from the cross and starts.
I mean, as long as it's not like super vulgar and disgusting, like a fictional story of Jesus, I don't think it's too terrible. Like if like they're saying it's fiction, it's not really what happened. Like, cause like didn't they make a movie like that, like about Cain and Abel?
A new life. He marries Mary Magdalene and they're happy together. There's even a scene of them consummating their marriage. Years later, as an old man, Jesus regrets giving up the cross. He kneels down and prays, begging God for a second chance to become the Messiah.
I didn't fight hard enough. Give me your hand. I want to pay the price.
In a dramatic twist, the movie ends with Jesus back on the cross, completing his
What the
sacrifice for
heck?
humanity.
That's kinda
Scorsese and his
crazy,
team
though.
spent $7 million on the film, going
Oh,
all
no.
out to make it a success. But when it finally premiered in August 1988, viewers couldn't stand it. Christian groups called the film disrespectful and blasphemous. What really set them off was the scene of Jesus getting intimate with his wife. But the backlash
Yeah,
didn't stop
having
the studio
Jesus
from
have
promoting
sex
the
is
film.
kinda
So some
crazy.
angry people took matters into their own hands. 2 months after the film was released, a Christian group set a movie theater on fire
fuck?
for showing the film.
But there are a lot of movies that give like biblical interpretations of the Bible and Jesus and different things that are, you know, fictional but, you know, made based off the Bible.
Same time, the director Martin Scorsese started getting death threats. It got so bad that he hired bodyguards to keep him safe for years.
God
Religious
damn.
groups staged protests that went on for weeks. Their efforts paid off. Many theater chains refused to screen the movie. Additionally, many religious countries, including Greece,
They try to say I mean, yeah. I mean, this one said it was completely fictional. So it's just not right to make your own characters. Some have a disclaimer saying they try. At least gave it at least give a disclaimer. Yeah, it said it was a fictional story.
Argentina, and Mexico banned the film. 30 years have passed since the movie came out, but to this day, The Last Temptation of Christ remains one of the most controversial banned movies ever made.
VHS.
This next film had a lot of famous
I don't know if I've heard
actors,
of that one.
but the ideas in the movie were dangerous for society. Natural Born Killers. Natural Born Killers wasn't banned because people hated it. It was banned because they liked it too much. Some people even
It's a good
wanted to
movie.
act like the characters in the movie. But if you know anything about the film, you'll understand why anyone imitating it was a recipe for disaster.
So you think, Alina, that nobody should use any kind of characters from the Bible and any kind of like fictional stories? They just should not put them in there.
Killers is a romantic
that's fine, I'm
crime
just
action
wondering.
film from 1994. The movie follows the story of Mickey Knox and his girlfriend Mallory. Both of them come from deeply
This is a good
troubled
movie.
families, but when they meet, it's love at first sight.
Have you seen this, Turk?
Mickey, who you?
I'm Mallory.
It seems like a typical
Nah,
love story.
bro. This is a good movie.
Mickey and Mallory even make plans to run away together. That's when the movie goes from romantic to disturbing. Mallory doesn't like her parents because
What's
of
that
how they
actor's
treat
name
her.
again?
Before
This
she
nose
and
guy.
Mickey hit the road, they end Mallory's parents' lives as an act of revenge. After the crime, the couple has an unofficial marriage ceremony on a bridge.
You marry me?
Of course I'll marry you.
It's like about two hillbillies that are crazy
As
killers.
husband and wife, they journey across the country, but it's going to be a horrifying journey. As Mickey and Mallory move from place to place, they leave a trail of bodies behind. In one scene, they eliminate everyone in a diner just for fun. Soon, they realize they've claimed 52 victims in New Mexico, Arizona, and Nevada.
So
Police
slay.
launch a manhunt to
Seen
catch
this
them.
movie?
Mickey and Mallory's faces are everywhere on TV and in newspapers. The police expect the public to help them track down the fugitives, but the opposite happens. Instead of seeing Mickey and Mallory as villains, the media turns them into idols. TV reporters romanticize their crimes. One journalist named Wayne Gale takes
Oh my god, I forgot Robert Downey Jr. is in it. Or mock them, I highly disagree. I don't think he was mocking him, I just think he wanted to make a story about Jesus, like, what if Jesus didn't take up the cross?
further. On a show, Wayne portrays
really?
the couple as rebels fighting against a broken system.
To tell the tale of Mickey and Mallory.
Thanks to the media,
That an
Mickey
Australian
and Mallory
accent?
become full-blown celebrities. However, they don't get to enjoy their newfound fame. After a violent shootout with the police, the couple is arrested and sent to
I'm not
prison.
gonna lie, I watched this movie and I'll be like, ooh, maybe finding a waifu like that wouldn't be so bad.
But even behind bars, their fame
Another
doesn't
disturbing movie
fade.
I've watched.
Reporters are desperate to interview them. After spending a year in jail, Mickey and Mallory somehow manage to break out. After all their crimes, the film ends with Mickey and Mallory walking away without any consequences.
Come on, miss. Come on, let's go.
Okay, baby.
Natural Born Killers premiered in August 1994, and it was an instant hit.
You need to watch
During its
this,
opening
Turk.
weekend, it went straight to #1 at the US box office. It made $110 million on a $34
No, that's fine,
million
Elena.
budget, which was a huge profit. However, the film's popularity soon became a curse. Copycat crimes.
To be honest, I love movies from that time period too. The way they filmed it, the acting in it, it all just seems very natural, like an actual hillbilly couple you would see in public at like a Dollar General in the South.
Real life
Even though I guess
started
they're from the
happening
West.
across the country. The criminals behind these attacks said the film inspired them. One
You
even
look
dressed
cool.
like Mickey Knox during his crime. Another group of real criminals
Bruh, that's
codenamed their
dope.
attack NBK, which stands for Natural Born Killers. People started accusing the movie of
Yeah, the kids from Columbine they were huge fans of this movie.
Sending the wrong message that breaking the law was somehow cool. The ending where fugitives walk away free was the worst part, but according to the director, that was the exact opposite of what he was trying to portray. The film was meant to criticize how the mass media sensationalizes crimes just to boost ratings and get more views. It was
I mean, bro, I love Tommy Lee Jones. Is he still alive? I see movies as entertainment. I don't take them like, oh, this is a criticism on this. Like I know some films try to do that, but like for me, it's entertainment, and I either like it or I don't like it, and I don't let it bother me.
supposed to inspire change, not violence. However, because people lost their lives in these real-life copycat crimes, the film developed a dark reputation. Eventually, because of the film's violent content and negative message, it was banned in Ireland and the Philippines. And maybe banning it was for the best. This next movie doesn't have any violence or disgusting scenes, but it was still banned in multiple countries. The question is, why? The Gods Must Be Crazy. The Gods Must Be Crazy was supposed to be a comedy, but instead of making people laugh, it made them mad. But unlike other banned films, it wasn't the visuals that shocked people, it was the story itself. The Gods Must Be Crazy is a South African film from 1980. The story begins when a pilot flying over the Kalahari Desert throws a Coke bottle out of his plane. The bottle falls through the sky and lands in the desert perfectly intact. An African tribe called the San people finds the bottle, and since they've never seen a bottle before, they think it's a magical object.
When something falls from the sky, it can only have come from the gods.
The tribe puts the bottle to use in all kinds of ways. They use it as a musical instrument, a fire starter, and even a cooking utensil. But what starts as a blessing quickly turns into a curse. Since there's only one bottle to share, it leads to fights and jealousy among the tribe members. One of the tribesmen, decides the bottle is causing too much trouble. He takes it and sets off on a journey to return it to the gods.
The unusual story of Key, the bushman, as he travels to the edge of the earth to return the god's mistake.
Along the way, Key meets new people, gets into strange situations, and has many adventures. The film ran for 109 minutes and cost $5 million to produce.
It made 1.8 billion?
In September 1980, it didn't disappoint. The Gods Must Be Crazy slowly became a worldwide hit. It was the most financially successful South African film ever produced at the time. It earned
paid for this movie. That's crazy.
$100 million worldwide and was translated into multiple languages.
The Gods Must Be Crazy. An epic comedy of absurd proportions.
God, I love commentators back then. An epic comedy of absurd proportion.
While it was being praised in some places, it was being condemned in others. People were angry about how the movie portrayed the African tribe that found the bottle. They said it made black Africans look like primitive simpletons or incompetent buffoons. People living in African and Afro-Caribbean countries
what's a trailer
they felt the movie was making fun of them. Others tried to calm the situation, saying people were reading too much into a comedy meant to entertain. But that didn't reduce the backlash. The movie was banned in several African and Afro-Caribbean countries. To this day, people continue to debate whether The Gods Must Be Crazy is a harmless comedy.
You've seen this movie?
When you think of witchcraft, Harry Potter probably comes to mind. But there's another witchcraft movie so creepy.
Where my church hated Harry Potter growing up.
Hexen, Witchcraft Through the Ages. When Hexen was made in 1922, it was the most expensive film ever produced in Scandinavia. It also took 3 whole years to film, but after all that effort, it was banned for being too disturbing. And that's because this film was about a topic that many people
Human Centipede was just fucking like visually creepy as fuck. It wasn't like a good movie, but it was visually creepy.
Hexen is a horror film that explores the history of witchcraft. The film is split into several parts, each dividing into a different aspect of the subject. It was directed by Benjamin Christensen. To prepare for the film,
bro, shout out to everyone who like watches these videos with me and has like different inputs, different opinions, different things to say. Like I love that, bro. It like broadens my horizons, makes me think more. You guys have made my brain so much broader and I think about things more.
Christensen read an ancient book about how to identify, hunt, and capture witches. During filming, he went to extreme lengths to make everything feel real.
To evoke the right mood, Christensen shot most of the film at night, also
Thanks.
highly unusual for 1922.
Looks good.
The director even acted in the film himself, playing the role of the devil taunting priests and nuns. But the most disturbing part of the movie comes in part 3, where it shows how witches were persecuted in the Middle Ages. It begins when a man
Bro,
named
isn't it crazy? Like, I guess for me, who no offense to anyone, I don't necessarily believe in witches. Like, I know people who practice witchcraft and they have different, sour pots, blah blah, they do whatever. And maybe that might be real or have some type of merit, but I don't believe in witches. Like, I don't believe, like of how the story is told, long warty nose, magic, killing everyone, like poisoning the well, like casting spells where people become inside out. Like, maybe there's some bad voodoo, bad luck charms, some things like that may be out there. But, like, for the most part, like, when they were, like, especially in Salem witch trials, they were just executing people. Like, they were executing women who could read, or, like, they had a special talent, or, like, if someone didn't like you, like, they would, just fucking kill you. I'm a witchy bitch. All they do in The Sims.
passes away lying in bed. His death
No, but
seems
voodoo
natural,
and
but Jesper's
Jinx's
family
death.
believes he was murdered. The family accuses a poor
You
old
put a jinx
woman
on me
named
where a
Maria
bunch of thick bitches
taking
show up to my
Jesper's
house.
life. But Maria never even touched Jesper, so how could she have possibly harmed him? The family had an answer. Maria was a witch. Maria is old, wrinkled, and homeless. She looked exactly like what people thought a witch should look like, and that's all it took for them to accuse her. Back then, they
active volcanoes in the world.
Oh yeah, I've definitely heard this voice before.
And at least one that we don't.
90s, 2000 vibes.
They believed witches could harm others using spells and curses.
Iconic.
Jesper's family is so
It almost sounds like the Law and Order voice, or am I tripping? The original one.
sure Maria is responsible that they report her to the judges. Maria is arrested and interrogated. At first, Maria insists she's
might be
innocent.
tripping.
She says, "How do you expect me to confess that which is not true?" But the judges pressure
You
Maria
likely did. It
until she
kinda
finally
does.
cracks. Maria
In New York City, there's a special. I can't even do it.
gives a false confession saying she's done horrible things. She said she gave birth to the devil's children, attended demonic feasts,
Witches
and
was
used
real?
magical ointments. But then Maria
Why-
gets a bit
why did
carried
they
away
stop
with her
then?
confession. She begins to accuse other women in the village of being witches too. The judges take notes as Maria names other supposed witches. Soon they have a long list.
Set the
The women
standard.
Maria accused are arrested and pressured to confess.
I have
Once
a
they
really
confess,
special
they
attachment to SVU, Law and Order, because when I was young, like probably like 5 to 10, my grandma, one of my grandmas lived in Florida, and when I would go stay with her, she would just always have that like Law and Order playing, always Law and Order, and like just the voices, the little but on da like the sound, like just the show. I love it. It'll always be nostalgic for me to watch one. Believe they hide it, but why would they hide it nowadays? Because like nowadays people are like, oh my god, you're a magic witch, I'll pay you millions and trillions of dollars. Like, they're not gonna shoot her in the head. Sounds like home though, literally.
too
It just
are
always takes me back to like when I'd get to go visit my grandma in Florida and stay with her.
forced to name other witches in the
Aw.
village. It became a vicious
I probably shouldn't be
cycle
watching that as a
where,
kid,
the story
but
says every witch gives 10 other witches
the
away.
government,
At the end, multiple
true.
women are found guilty
government
and sentenced
won't let us
to
have
be burned
shit.
at the stake. The punishment is brutal and hard to watch. When Hexen was released in September 1922, it was very different from the
Is she still here? My grandma? Yeah, my grandma's still alive.
other movies of that era. It showed people without clothes, black magic rituals, and a realistic devil with horns. The list goes on.
Yeah.
There were torture chambers,
She lives in North
possessed
Carolina
nuns, and
now,
even
though.
sacrifices. Hexen wasn't just a movie, it was a nightmare
Back in
on the
that's good.
screen.
I only have one grandparent's passed away so far. It was my grandpa who was married to one in Florida, and then my grandpa on my mom's side, he's not doing great, but it's kind of sad. Like, I'm getting to that age where like my grandparents are getting so old, and it's like, wow, you know what I mean? I'm sure, a lot of people around my age are starting to see it, and old people older than me has probably been through it. It's just like so sad.
Because of the disturbing
Jump spell's
visuals,
been
the
through it,
film got
yeah.
a lot of backlash. Remember, this
Love you
was way
too,
back
fam.
in 1922. One movie critic said Hexen was absolutely unfit for public exhibition. In the
It
United
is.
States, it was banned.
I think a year and a half ago now, my grandpa passed away, and then my other grandpa, he's just had so many open heart surgeries and valves replaced and this, and you know, they say he's got a couple years, 1 or 2 years left. I was between 1 to 3. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Got through it this last year. Listen, man, I'll always be here for you, bro. Pick and choose, the real never lose. They come and go, but I don't. In 2016, how old were you in 2016? Just lost one grandma.
Outright. Even in Sweden, where it was made,
And
theaters
then-
were scared to play it. The filmmakers had to
Tough
cut out
times
some of
pass,
the scariest
chat.
parts just to get it shown.
Tough
But even
times come
after
and
the
go,
cuts, people
but
still
tough
thought
people
the film
stay.
was too much to handle.
26. Yeah, so about my age. Just lost mine too. Listen, bro, it's a sad part of life, you know, but like I'm gonna be in shambles, bro, when I'm like going in my 40s and 50s. My parents start getting really old like that. Wasn't working, went through so many heart surgeries and stents, and it really is just like his status is just prolonging it, you know, just, you know, try and keep them comfortable, trying to, you know, keep the heart working as long as they can.
Over time, though,
He was
Hexen became a
suffering.
classic.
Exactly
Makeup
the
sets,
same.
costumes, and special effects were ahead of their time. Today, Hexen is even listed as one of the 1001 movies you must see before you die. And if you're not too scared, you should check it out. This next movie involves cruelty, gore, and death traps. Pretty
It's good to
gruesome.
see you in chat,
Saw
Jason.
6. The Saw franchise
Listen, bro.
became famous
Saw?
for its gruesome, violent horror. The fans loved it, and they kept coming back for more. The first 5 Saw movies made over
Shocked to be
$400
honest.
million at the box office, turning a massive profit. So when it was time to make Saw 6, the producers decided to take things to the next level. But some people think they went a
been
little
here.
too far.
Saw 6.
To really understand Saw 6, you need to know what the series is about. The Saw franchise centers around a vigilante known as Jigsaw. Jigsaw has a twisted concept of justice. He believes that bad people need to be
I love
punished,
Saw,
but not
me too.
necessarily by going to jail. They need to face life or death situations designed to teach them moral lessons. In Jigsaw's mind, if they
Saw.
survive these challenges, they'll become better people. So Jigsaw kidnaps
Dude,
these
I should be
so-called bad
Jigsaw this
people
year for
and forces
Halloween,
them
get a
to
suit
play
and a mask.
horrifying games where survival is not guaranteed. Saw 6 begins with 2 loan sharks who've been captured by Jigsaw. He throws them into a deadly
That'd be
game with
sick.
one rule. Only one of them can leave alive. What follows is a brutal contest for survival. In the end, only one...
Chat. Crazy idea. What if... Oh, this is crazy. In October, we cancel the show in October, the DJ show. We go to Louisiana for Halloween. Dress up, do some Halloween. Because Louisiana, New Orleans is going to be the best place to be for Halloween. I'll do the Saw movie binge. That would be badass. Because New Orleans turns up for Halloween. That would be sick, bro. Show up in our costumes, get a squad pick. On Halloween. Easy drive. Yeah, dude. And I've only been to NOLA once, and that was like in my drug era, bro, and I barely remember it. Unless I'm not in Texas anymore. Bro, that's crazy. You're getting there before me.
that makes it out. That set the tone for the rest of the movie. Jigsaw's next target is a health insurance executive named William. The reason why William is there is because he denies insurance
Bro,
coverage.
listen how... So the Salt Lake City show I'm playing, listen how fun it is to say the name of the venue. Waikiki. That's the name of it. Waikiki. It's so fun to say.
To people who desperately
Read them
need
on
medical
Halloween.
care.
It's like American Horror Story, the first season Murder House, when they can leave the house on Halloween. That's you, Vamp.
This didn't age well.
But my request for coverage...
You can gamble in New Orleans too, right?
Have all
Yeah.
been turned down.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that if I came and explained it to you, that you might be able to get that overturned for me.
Jigsaw captures William and takes him to an abandoned
Yeah.
zoo. A videotape informs William that he must complete
That
a
would be
series
lit.
of tests to survive. The challenges in
We
this
make it
movie
like
aren't
Nashville.
random. Every one of them is designed to punish William for his decisions and force him to confront the lives he's ruined. As the movie
Bro, Turk, I'll fly into Dallas, bro, because it's a cheaper flight to get to Dallas, and I'll road trip it with you, dog. That would be fun as fuck. And that way you wouldn't have to drive the whole time. Because what, it's like a 6-hour drive?
Goes on, the tests become more brutal and the stakes
Maybe
get
8?
higher. The producers poured $11 million into making the movie as scary as possible. In October 2009,
like
Saw 6
8-ish.
was finally
Yeah, but they
released.
split it
That's
4
when
hours
trouble
each.
began. Saw 6 was so graphic
Light
and
work.
intense that many countries had an issue with it. Even in America, where horror films often push boundaries, the motion picture
Is there another state in between, or is it just straight into Louisiana?
Association demanded that the gruesome opening scene should be toned down before the movie could be approved for release. In Spain, things were even more problematic. Spanish film authorities
Against Texas. So here's my plan. So I'm not touring again in 2026. This will probably be the only year I do this because it's a lot. It's hard, but it's worth it. In 2026, I want to make a road trip. I want to fly to California, rent a van, and make a road trip across the United States back to North Carolina. I want to go back to Vegas, which I'll probably do before I move out of Utah, so I can just drive there. And then I'll probably go back to Dallas one time. One time back to Texas. And that'll probably be my traveling, or Florida or Texas.
the film an X rating
That'd be
for
so
extreme
fun.
violence.
Let's see
The
what I can
film
do.
could not
Yeah.
be shown in any theater in Spain. The producers were
The only reason why I'm just not like I shoot the gun and do it is because I know Drake is so excited for us to go to Atlanta.
forced to cut some of the most graphic scenes.
I love
Only
Florida.
then did Spain lower the rating to an 18. This meant it could be shown in theaters, but only for adult audiences. However, other countries weren't willing
That's
to
true.
compromise. In Thailand and Malaysia, Saw 6 was flat out banned. Trinidad and Tobago also banned the film. Despite all the controversy, Saw 6 still
Drake?
managed to earn $69.8
When will you be there?
million worldwide. Although that sounds impressive, it was the lowest grossing film in the Saw
Third
franchise
time's
at
the
the
charm
time.
with
Many
Dallas.
people think
This
the
will
movie was
be
just so unwatchable that it hurt its box
my
office
5th time in
performance.
Texas.
As one review said, Saw 6 is the 6th Saw I've seen and maybe the sickest. This next film is so
I mean, I've only
twisted
lived
that
there
watching
once,
it feels
but-
like a punishment. The Human Centipede 2 full sequel.
Nay, Human Centipede!
Before any movie can be released in the UK, it has to be approved by the National Film Board. It's a standard process, but when the Human Centipede full sequence was submitted for approval, the authorities didn't just reject it. They said it was just too horrible to show. Usually, a rejected movie can cut out the bad scenes and
All your old sites. Well, the reason why I was asking to multiple states, I was like, we can make a road trip YouTube video out of it, but if we're just driving through the fucking desert in Texas, I don't know what we'll stop and see. So I'll come a day early so we can make like a legit road trip out of it, stop at some places, see some cool shit. The 10th or 12th. Okay, that makes sense.
apply for approval, but not this
Of
time.
June?
The board said that no amount
Are
of
you
cuts
driving?
would allow them to give this film a certificate. So what was in this movie that caused such an extreme reaction?
up.
The Human Centipede full sequence is about a man named Martin Lomax. Martin is a security guard who works in an underground parking garage. But Martin has a secret obsession. He wants to create something called a human centipede. It's a twisted concept where multiple people are stitched together to form one long, crawling creature like a centipede. He got the idea from a movie
Swamps
he
of
watched.
Louisiana.
Martin is so fixated on this
We'll have to
idea
see
that
if we
he
can
even
look it
tells
up.
his mom about
Some
it. Obviously, she
cool
thinks he's out
stops
of
and things
his
we could
mind.
see.
He keeps on talking about a centipede.
Ooh, there are a lot of gator wrangling, like entertainment places in Louisiana. That would be badass.
With
I love
12
alligators.
people.
But Martin doesn't care what anyone thinks. Even though he has no medical training, he starts gathering tools like duct tape and a staple gun to bring his twisted vision to life. He also finds an abandoned warehouse, which is the perfect spot for his plan. Then Martin begins kidnapping people
Crawfish.
one by one and taking them to the warehouse.
I like
Once he
crawfish,
has 12
but
people,
they're a
Martin
bitch to
begins his
eat
experiment.
for
He
the
uses
amount of
a
meat.
staple gun
So I
and
go with
duct
a
tape to
lobster.
attach them together, and I'll let you fill in the rest. And yes, the movie shows every moment of this process. Once his creation is complete, Martin forces the centipede
Why'd they
to
give him that
crawl,
form?
deriving pleasure from his twisted work. But his experiment doesn't go as planned. The centipede
Oh,
begins to
too
fall
fat.
apart because people can't be attached that way. Disappointed by his failure, Martin snaps. He starts to get physical with his captives, but during the scuffle, Martin gets hurt. At that moment, the scene suddenly changes. Martin is back in the underground garage where he works, sitting at his desk like nothing happened. It seems everything the audience just saw was a dream. After filming wrapped, the editors spent months piecing everything together. The final product was 91 minutes of pure horror. The film didn't have a lot of dialogue, mostly
Jesus
screams
Christ,
and whimpers. Then they submitted it to the British Board of Film Classification for approval. But instead of getting approval, they got condemned. The UK Film Board flat out
Condemned?
refused to give the film a certificate. They claimed the movie posed a real risk to cinema goers.
The look and atmosphere of this movie are disgusting. It being black and white and often dimly lit just makes this world look depressing and gives me this uncomfortable feeling.
Not getting approved meant the film couldn't be legally supplied anywhere in the UK, even on DVD or download. It was essentially banned across the country. As expected, the director was not happy with the board's decision. He issued a public statement criticizing their stance. He said, "Thank you for banning my film in this exceptional way. Apparently, I made a horrific horror film. But shouldn't a good horror film be horrific? Give people their own choice to watch it or not. If people can't handle or like my movies, they just don't watch them. If people like my movies, they have to be able to see it anytime, anywhere, also in the UK. For most films, a ban like this would have been the end of the story. But The Human Centipede was different. Instead of avoiding the controversy, the producers leaned into it, using the ban as a key part of their marketing strategy. In the trailer, they said Human Centipede banned in the UK poses a real risk that harm is likely to be caused to potential viewers. All the controversy made people in the UK more curious about the movie. They wanted to see what all the fuss was about. Even though the film couldn't be legally sold or shown in the UK, the internet was impossible to control. Thousands of Brits found ways to watch it, either by ordering import DVDs or streaming it online. Meanwhile, The Human Centipede
Yeah, you can really
premiered in
stream
other countries
anything
where it
nowadays.
was not banned. As
No
moviegoers
kidding.
entered theaters, they were
I've
given
never
barf
seen.
bags just in case.
I've never seen The Human Centipede, but I've seen clips and pictures and shit.
The film made them throw up. Some theaters even parked ambulances outside in case viewers fainted in shock. During one premiere, the movie affected a woman so much that paramedics had to assist her. One movie critic who saw the film summarized it in this way. It's not really a film one can or should enjoy. Sometimes just hearing a movie title is enough to tell you it's going to be disturbing.
Even the
This
first
next fan
one?
film is a perfect example of that. Faces of Death. Faces of Death is a film most people cannot handle, and in 1985, a teacher learned that lesson the hard way. In June of that year, a math teacher in California decided to show this film to a bunch of high school students. But two of the students who
we watched yesterday band documentaries, and I want to watch that first one. All the Star Wars forever. Bro, Turk thinks about that every day. He's gonna carry that to his grave. That's his cross to bear.
The movie were so affected by it that they developed an unnatural fear of dying and suffered emotional distress. Their families were so mad they sued the school district. In the end, the district had to pay a $100,000 settlement to the two families. That's how serious this apparently was. But
I love
what was in
watching
this film
movies in
that
movie
made it
theaters,
so unbearable
bro.
to watch? Faces of Death is a 1978 film that explores the topic of death, but it doesn't just talk about it, it shows it.
Now, a motion picture dares to take you beyond the threshold
The
of
fuck up!
living,
You didn't
where
make me
you may
one.
discover your own face of death.
You
Almost
see a
every
movie.
scene shows
Dude,
someone
seeing something
meeting
in
their end
theaters
in
is
different
just,
ways. Accidents, natural
And I'm not
disasters.
even a big popcorn guy. I'm not a big fan of popcorn, but like when I go to the theater, I like a popcorn and a soda, and it's just good. I'll share. No, you're not. You're a rat.
And more. But it's a
You
movie,
never share
so
your
those
foods
scenes
with me.
must be fake, right? Well, approximately 60% of the film shows actual
same
deaths caught on
time?
camera.
At the same
producers
damn
brought this footage
time?
from news stations, medical researchers, and even morgues. But the fake scenes weren't any easier to watch. They were so realistic that
Yeah,
viewers
cut me a
couldn't tell
piece
the
off.
difference
I'll
from
take
the
what I
real
can
footage.
get.
To achieve this, the producers
Veggies
studied
can't be
crime scene
choosies.
photos to make sure their special effects looked exactly like the real thing. Faces of Death is split into different sections. One segment features an interview with a hitman where he speaks about taking lives like it's nothing. Another scene shows a gunfight between a SWAT team and an armed criminal. There's even a segment about animals. The film runs for 105 minutes, dragging viewers through one disturbing
Cheeto
scene after another.
Imagine
However,
taking
the movie
Cheetos
tries
and
to
crunching
end
them
on
up
a
and pouring them on the
positive
steak.
note. The final
Is there
scene
beers
shows a
and
mother
booze?
holding her newborn
Like in a
baby,
pint?
almost as if the filmmakers were trying to calm the audience.
I like to drink beers out those big glass cold pints because it makes me feel like a fucking, like I'm in Lord of the Rings or something. Yeah.
After
to the cinema. God, I love British people, bro. Let's go to the cinema.
The unsettling
I should
content
try
I
that.
just watched.
Do it with
The
your
film
steak
was
right now.
released in
Send me a
November
picture.
1978, and the public reaction was explosive. Given the most
Yeah, pints are fun to drink
viewers
out of.
felt the movie crossed every possible
Puts hair in my
line.
chest.
One reviewer described the
Adds
film as
testosterone
crude,
to my body.
tasteless exploitation footage. He ended by saying people should be ashamed to watch this garbage. As the complaints piled up, the movie was banned in about 46 countries. In
I
the
blame
UK,
you.
Faces of Death was
Bro, you
placed
eat
on the
worse.
video nasty list. This meant it was
Video
illegal to
nasty
sell or
list.
rent the film there. Australia and New Zealand followed suit, banning the film in the 1980s. Over time, some countries lifted the bans, but even in places where it's
True.
allowed, the film has a dark reputation. And honestly, most people wouldn't dare watch it even if they were given the chance. Movies
I
influence
feel like none of these movies could really hurt me in the end of the day because I've seen so much fucked up shit. Might be gross, but I don't think it would like affect my psyche or anything.
us more than we realize.
Like my
Watching
mental.
too much graphic content can actually desensitize us to it, which is
Yeah,
sometimes a
I'm
scary
desensitized
thing.
as
Friends,
fuck.
choose very wisely what you watch because it matters way more than you think.
True,
Visual
same here.
Adventure.